Well, hello and welcome everybody to the New Health Conversation. And for all the censors out there who monitor the community guidelines, we're always very careful at the New Health Conversation to only quote from medical peer-reviewed human trial studies. Therefore, everything is in the public domain. Our guests that come on our podcast are able to go and see the actual medical proof. So nothing is a claim. We've written 4 best-selling books of some of the top medical doctors in the world, over 20 shows on public broadcasting, over 1,500 live lectures around the world. We've always prided ourselves as the New Health Conversation of providing education. We have no products to sell. There's no products to sell on our website. We provide them with a free medical website they can go to and see all the medical proof. So we always like you to know that in advance. Hello, Elizabeth. How are you today? Or night or evening, wherever you might be listening around the world. So you can see it here. The biggest threat to your health is obesity. We're now looking at worldwide 1 billion people that are clinically obese. In the United States, in 4 years, they project 86% of you will be overweight or obese in just 4 years. So something's terribly wrong. And the whole idea behind this podcast is to educate you, is to show you what's really available. So we don't have anybody on yet. Well, that's okay. We'll just keep waiting until we get some people coming on. Just waiting for people to come on. So the biggest threat to our health globally is obesity. And we're now in a position where you can really do something about it. There are 10 new peer-reviewed human trial studies. I actually have them right here that will show you there's a completely new way to lose weight that has nothing to do with counting calories or exercise or 10,000 steps or anything like that. So it's really important that you all understand we're here to educate you. So again, this revolutionary R2M protocol is not a diet. It's not about counting calories. There was no exercise involved. It was developed by the top weight loss researchers in the world for more than 40 years and 100 studies to come up with this. So the results on this are staggering. They're crazy. Most people lose as much weight in 4 days as in 8 weeks of any diet any of you have ever been on. Not only that, they're not losing any water weight, and they're actually gaining 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. So I see Miles, I see Nellie, I see Broken for Better, I see Hidwith, Bobby Johnson, Heidi, Imran, Jack Knight. Hello, Jack Knight. Hello, Sadie, 99. Lots of you coming and at least taking a looky-loo. But the key to this whole thing is the fact that it's based on medical science. It's based on 40 years of research, 100 studies to overcome this scourge called obesity. Whether you know it or not, we're now projections are in 4 years, 86% of you are going to be overweight or obese. And the sad part is, I don't care what the diet is, there's no evidence that any diet has ever worked long term. Can anybody, wow, lots of new people, Jack, Shimon, Wura, Menina, Bailey, Imelda, Heidi. Hello and welcome everybody. Look, the biggest threat to your health is obesity. It's not up for debate. Harvard Medical School proved that being obese leads to 40 known diseases. Now, maybe you're not obese yet, but maybe you're headed in that direction. Because the projections are, Johns Hopkins Medical School, that 86% of you within 4 years will be overweight or obese. This thing is completely out of control. We have more diets than ever. None of them are working. I'd love for anybody to tell me a diet that you think actually works. Calorie counting, it's completely dead. It's been debunked. Even, I've got it right here. Harvard Medical School, stop counting calories. Another big study from Medicare. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. This is Medicare. Please pay attention to this. Medicare's researchers reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether dieting is an effective treatment for obesity. The studies show that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on any diet. And here you are counting calories, going on diets. Medicare is saying 2/3 of you are going to weigh more than what you did. That's why the obesity thing is out of control. These diets work until they don't. You all know you've experienced it. You lost weight, you gained it all back, and you thought, oh, it was the fault of the diet. So then you waited for a new diet. Like everybody this time of year, they're getting ready already for the New Year's resolutions, thinking some new diet's going to come out. Ask yourself this question. From 1995 to 2025, the obesity rates in the United States have doubled, and yet we have more diets than ever before. How come we keep creating new diets if any of the old diets work? Did you ever ask yourself that question? What about weight gaining during menopause and not being able to lose it? Heidi, tremendous. Heidi, we have people with no thyroids. We have women with no gallbladders. I promise you that unless there would be some weird circumstance, Heidi, how excited would you be if you step on the scale in the fourth morning and you've lost as much weight as in a month of any diet? If you don't mind telling me how tall are you, how much do you weigh, and I'll give you a real, now understand, Heidi, this is not a diet. It's a detox, and I'm going to get into all those details in just a moment. But I wanted everybody to get the general consensus that obesity is an enormous threat to your overall survivability, your longevity, and your health. We've got to do something different. I mean, again, Heidi, do any of you really believe that any diet is working long term? Because the medical studies, like I said, here's another big study that says the science behind why diets don't work. This is not my opinion, everybody. Listen to this. The researchers looked and said, despite all the ads that say otherwise, it's very rare for people to lose weight and keep it off for good. Not only that, 2/3 of people who diet regain more weight than they lost, ending up at a higher weight than when they started. In a review of more than 30 long-term studies showing that going on a diet actually causes weight gain. The more diets someone has tried, the more they weigh. So not only does dieting not work for long-term weight loss, but it's also associated with increased risk of binge eating disorders, and long-term weight gain. Every study is saying that now. What diet are you all on that you think is going to work? 5 through 150, maybe 155. Okay, Heidi, and what do you think you should weigh? I mean, and give me a weight that would make you out of your mind if you get there. I'll tell you what I would tell you from a medical perspective, but first I'd like to get your impression, because I'm going to show you some before and after pictures here in just a moment. Heidi, they're going to blow your mind. They're going to totally blow your mind. So again, Heidi, so where do you think you should be? Bottom number, okay, I'm going to say 130. So let's say 25 pounds. Okay, so let's start right out with a young woman. She had 30 pounds to lose. Look at this, Heidi. 21 pounds, 38 inches in 30 days, Heidi. 30 days. This is average. This is normally what we see on this. It's not a diet, everybody. But Heidi, how excited would you be if you could lose 5 pounds a week? And so effectively, you could get most of that weight off. Maybe, what if it took you 5 weeks or 6 weeks? Would you be unhappy? Compared to a diet where, number one, you can't lose any weight now, and at best, even on diets when they work, what do you end up losing, everybody? Do you know when they analyze these diets in a year, do you know what the weight loss is typically in a week? About 4 ounces. No, it's 16 pounds in a year. I've got study after study right here. This is the grand myth of diets. Here's a 12-month study where they analyzed all the big diets. Low fat, low carb, keto, carnivore, macro counting, and this time restricted eating, which is complete nonsense. It's nothing more than a low calorie diet. Do you know what the weight loss was in a year on all these diets across all of them? The most anybody lost in a year was 16 pounds. The least anybody lost was 11 pounds in a year, and 25 to 40% of what they lost was lean muscle mass. These are the actual medical studies, not somebody giving you a bunch of hyperbole on the, by the way, can any of you find anybody on social media with one shred of medical evidence except for us? We're the only ones. We have 10 right here. We have 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. You can go to our website for free, the New Health Conversation. There's nothing to buy. We don't have any products. This is food and a new way of eating that we didn't invent. And look at that. Okay, so that's her. And then let's go to Julie. Look at this, Heidi. 35 pounds in 37 days. Look at the change in her body composition. How much would that excite you, Heidi? You don't have 35 pounds to lose, but I'm just showing you examples. And then unless you think it's just short-lived and you can't keep it off, look at my friend's daughter. 60 pounds in 3 months. That's 5 pounds a week for 3 straight months. Can any of you show me anything like this? No. And they lost no water weight and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle, and no one was allowed to exercise. Look at that. Look at her face. Look at her arms. Look at her body. So let's come back to Kristen, because I want to explain to all of you now what they did. Why is this so unique? Why is no diet even in the same ballpark with this, okay? Well, first of all, it's not a diet. Secondly, it was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world who done, listen to this, everyone, 100 studies on human beings over 40 years. They looked at every kind of diet out there. And the sad part was they never found a diet in 40 years where people lost weight and kept it off. And 2/3 of the people gained more weight than they lost. So they said there's a major flaw in diets. And here's what it is. Counting calories is nonsense. It's crazy. Does anyone even know the definition of the medical definition of a calorie? Do you know what it is? I didn't 25 years ago, so I doubt you do. In a year's time, over 1,000 podcasts that I've done, because I do 3 or 4 a day, 7 days a week, you do the math. I've had 12 people ever give me the actual technical, the medical definition of a calorie. You're counting calories. Guess who can't count calories, all of you? Your body. Your body doesn't give a damn about a calorie, doesn't know what it is. When you're hungry, you're not hungry for calories. So the research said, what's wrong? Here's what's wrong. You're alive because of 3 things, and one of them is not calories: air, water, and nutrition. So what happens to you on a diet, no one's ever told you this before, you reduce the amount of food you're consuming. At the same time, you're reducing the amount of nutrition. When you do that, your brain senses not enough nutrition, which is the fuel that runs all your organs and keeps you alive. Calories don't keep you alive. Nutrition does, right? Great, Presnap. I'll check it a little bit later. So anyway, because I'm going to be watching the game here, and hopefully you are, in about 3 hours, okay? Presnap, I assume you're going to watch. My Buffaloes, of course, right. Sorry, everybody, this is my friend. We're talking football, but let me come back to the protocol. I would like that. I'm not stationary, but I'm a bit frustrated with symptoms. Okay, now, so let me continue. So the researchers, here's what they did, Heidi and everybody else. Nola walks, I ordered it, great. They came on and they said, we need to eliminate calorie counting, which they did. What they did, they came up with 30% of the food that you would buy, Heidi, or any of you, whatever you spent last month, any of you spent last month, you're only going to spend 30% this month on a list of food the researchers put together for you: proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. Those foods are based on serving sizes, not calories. So got it? The other 70%, and here's what makes it so different, Heidi, and why it's working. The other 70% of what you would spend from the money you didn't spend on the 30%, because take 100% of your budget, take 30%, that's what you're going to spend at the grocery store. The other 70% you buy directly from these other researchers who've gone around the world to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small amounts. Yeah, I did. I saw all that press now. Jalen Carter, what an idiot. That's ridiculous. Probably going to cost him $1 million for what he did, but that's another side. So anyway, now they had the foods, Heidi. Then what they did, they created a new way of eating. So Heidi, believe it or not, you actually would have 5 days a week. You're going to have 4 meals a day. You're going to start with these exotic foods around the world, from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, which the researchers have called the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional standpoint of view. Nothing to do with calories, nothing to do with anything other than nutrition. Breakfast, lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner, the world's most perfect meal. Now remember, this is until you get to your goal. We'll talk about that in a moment. Then 2 days a week out of 7 until you get your goal. No food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time, you're going to eat 8 times a day. Yes, you're going to eat every hour and a half for 2 hours. And it's all based 100% on nutrition. Now, the diabetics on this, Heidi, no one had insulin spikes. Women, menopause symptoms, hot flashes already started to come down even within a month. And here's the thing, Heidi, they did the most advanced medical research ever done on a diet, on nutrition, or on health. What they did this massive amount of medical research. They did blood, stool, urine, fat. They did body composition. They did lean muscle mass. They did visceral fat. They measured inflammation. They measured all these things. Hunger. Do you know, Heidi, on this, most women, listen to this, lose a whole dress size in the first 7 days, and no one was allowed to exercise. Now, what did the medical research, what did they find? The least important part of this is the weight you're going to lose. I know that would sound crazy, but that's true. What they proved was this, that this was a detox. That what was happening in these people, and the reason they were shrinking and losing all this weight, because see, we're living, Heidi, in this incredibly toxic world, in case you didn't know it. We're breathing, we're drinking, we're eating chemicals. My God, 2 months ago they came out and said we're finding microplastics in our brain and in our coronary arteries. But what else are they finding inside our fat cells? Herbicides and pesticides and Scotchgard and Teflon. So what they did through the blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, they proved this was removing chemicals from the body. The number one reason to do this, everyone, is to detox your body. And this is not some marketing ploy. It's published in 10 of the biggest medical studies in the world. You will not find anything else out there, at least as of today, with any peer-reviewed human trial studies on whether it's claiming detox or weight loss or whatever it is. It's all just marketing nonsense, right? The second thing that they measured, which was really important, was inflammation. Inflammation came down 25% in 30 days. This has never been seen before, ever. No diet's ever produced anything like this. Hunger came down 40% in a month. But the diabetics, the need for insulin, which is what a diabetic measures, right? It came down 41% in a month, and it was so drastic that the doctors who had their patients in here on medication cut their meds by 50% in 30 days. I'm going to show an example right now. Curtis, 65-year-old man, he lost 40 pounds in a month. Least important part of his story, Heidi. Look at his blood work. His A1C from 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides, 242 to 124 in 30, but he lost 40 pounds in a month. Look at his stomach on day 1, and then look at his stomach on day 30. You think there's any diet like this, any of you on the planet? Please put it in the chat. Tell me what it would be. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. You can change your lives. And then let's look at Andy. How about 45 pounds and 60 inches in 30 days? 45 pounds, everybody. And look at his A1C from 7.9 to 6.2. But look at his bad cholesterol from 120 to 59 in 30 days. You think there's any diet that's ever produced anything like this? And then let's look at Christopher. He lost 43, that's only 29 days. Actually, in 30 days, he lost about 45 pounds, just to let you know. But look at his triglycerides from 169 to 58, his bad cholesterol, 105 to 68, and his blood pressure was 133 over 86. It dropped to 126 over 73 in 30 days. And then Ken over here, look at him in 29 days, 34 pounds, 26 inches in 29 days. Now, you can think we're photoshopping this, and if you do, you're on the wrong podcast. I'm serious. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time with us. If you think we're lying or that we faked or we did anything that's not real, then you're on the wrong podcast. We're providing, you see right above his head, the new health conversation. And for all of you, it's free to go to the website. Well, no, President, so am I. Trust me, I'm out of here in about another 2 hours. I'm watching that game. Are you kidding me? Pressed up? Of course I'm going to watch it. This is my buddy. We're talking about University of Colorado football game today against the University of Delaware. So everyone, you've got me for another, not on this podcast because I'll need a break for my throat. But Heidi, what do you think about this? Again, Heidi, that's why you want to, it's a free consultation with our coaches. Now, it's important, Heidi, if everybody, look, you can go, let me show everybody, including you, Heidi. Everybody go to Google, or those of you who want to, and type in the new health conversation. It's going to take you to the Google link. You're going to see it in 1 second. Be patient. There it is, the new health conversation. And then it takes you right to the website. There's nothing to buy on that website. The only thing on that website, the only thing is the medical proof that you get to see. If you go there, Heidi or anybody, we won't contact you. We don't do that. We rely on the medical proof. But Heidi, if you like what you see, you can scroll down and get a free coach. Now, Heidi, the other thing I want to tell you and everybody else, if you go there, it's going to say 100% money back guarantee. Let me clarify. 30%, take whatever you spent last month on groceries, take 30% of that. That's what you're going to spend at the grocery store. The other 70% that you're buying these exotic foods around the world, those researchers, they'll give you 100% of your money back guarantee, Heidi, in the first 30 days. Try and do this on these other people that are out there trying to sell you $50 a month coaching programs, $500 for recipes, and then you're still going to buy the food. In a year, they want to charge you $500 a year for recipes with no medical proof. And who's the person promoting it? A chef. You be the judge. We're serious. We're nutritional researchers for 23 years, 4 best-selling books, 20 shows on PBS, 1,500 live lectures around the world at hospitals and universities. Hell, I was invited to Autism One, the biggest autism conference in the world in Chicago, 2 years in a row. I was a keynote speaker. I'm not telling you to impress you because this is not our research. We didn't do it, but we're bringing it to you. Does everyone understand that? So if you go to that website, we will not contact you, but there it is. Look, visit the new health conversation. Do you see it, Heidi? And then free coaching, everybody. How much is the coaching? Free. How much is the consultation? Free. What's the cost of coaching? 0. And it comes with a 100% money back guarantee on 70% of what you're going to consume. How could you not go there, any of you, and at least check it out? Why wouldn't you go there? Will do, Heidi. Great. So any of the others, would anybody else like to ask me a question? And Heidi, here's the thing. The reason, again, they offer 100% money back guarantee, because nothing's 100%. But Heidi, we've seen people with a lot more than what you got going on. But make sure, if you do go and ask for a coach, put in your fibromyalgia, arthritis, etc., so we can align you with a coach. We have medical doctors, we have PAs, we have RNs, we got tons of people that have done this. Everybody is volunteering to coach you. The coaching is 100% free. You buy nothing from the coaches. 30% from the grocery store, everybody, 70% from these exotic foods around the world. Now, let me just show you this. This makes me so happy. This lady, 200 pounds in a year, and she's kept it off. Where's the loose skin, everybody? Look at that. No surgery of any kind. Again, if any of you think we're faking things, you're on the wrong podcast. I'm serious. Because we have no credibility. If we're faking this, then don't believe anything we're saying. I'm serious. Don't believe anything I'm saying. But you got to understand, you can go and see the medical proof right there at the New Health Conversation. The interview, there's an interview there, a podcast with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the entire world. You let him tell you about why they did 100 studies on human beings over 40 years, thousands of people, and they came to the conclusion dieting as we know it is a total waste of time. All diets are based on some form of calories in, calories out. It doesn't work, it can't work, it won't work. It's never worked. That's all I can tell you. So who would like to ask me a question? Imelda or Gary? Anybody else like to ask me a question? Imelda, follow the live. Thank you, Imelda. That's wonderful. Heidi, yeah, she looks great. Isn't that just a wonderful, but it's such a great story of humanity. Now, let me share something with all of you, a personal story that's really, why am I so crazy passionate about this? Why did I become a researcher? Because my own mother was morbidly obese my whole life. My mom looked pretty much like this lady right here, okay? My whole life. My mother did about every single diet you could imagine, from Weight Watchers to the cabbage diet, the banana, South Beach, North Beach, didn't matter. And 24 years ago, she called me up and said, Peter, I have one really big wish in my life. I loved my mom. Dude, I didn't care how big she was. I loved her. She was my mom. It's the only mom I'm ever going to get. And she called me this one day and said, I have a really big wish in my life. I said, Mom, what's that? She said, I would give anything if I could spend one day thin. One day. I said, wow, Mom, that's cool. Well, 6 months later, massive heart attack and stroke. My mom was only 62 years old when she died. I miss my mom like crazy. My mom never got a chance to even look at something like this. She only wanted one day thin, one, not a week, not a month, not a year. I'm afraid to say I believe that many of you are in that same kind of position, that you really would like to do anything to get rid of this weight and burden. It's like having chains around your wrists, and it's like an anchor that you're towing. So I'm very compassionate. I went through fat shaming. I would never do that. We're volunteering our time. I spent a lot of money to create this website for all of you to go for free. There are no products to buy. We don't have anything to sell. You're buying food and you're learning a new way of eating. I know it sounds too good to be true. And we would hope that this movement, it's called the New Health Conference. That's the movement we've started. You don't have to pay anything to join. You can just be part of it. You can come. We actually do even a Thursday night, a results call where people come on and just talk about their incredible stories and their life-changing. We coach you for free. Show me anybody else on social media that's doing that. There are no lotions, potions, pills. No, it doesn't work like that. I mean, I'm so proud of this lady right here, but she's not the only one. There are armies of them. We figure that, just to give you an idea, over 23 years, we've helped over 500,000 people that have lost over 10 million pounds. How's that sound? We've written 4 best-selling books, some of the top medical doctors in the world, 20 shows on public broadcasting. I was interviewed on the 4 biggest daytime shows in America. I was a keynote speaker at Autism One in Chicago 2 years in a row, the largest autism conference in the world. And I did over 1,500 live lectures in universities and hospitals and towns. I even went to China. This is real, everybody. I don't know what else I can tell you. And really, if you think we're photoshopping any of these pictures, you're on the wrong podcast. You really are. But I would love anybody to tell me, anybody that you're seeing on help you. I mean, when you look at, well, here's a wonderful story of a couple. So Michael lost 15 pounds and his wife Sheila 10 pounds in 11 days. Collectively, in 5 months, they each lost over 60 pounds. She lost 62, he lost 65, and they've kept it off for 2.5 years. I know them. Let me get my fat head out of the way. Look at the before on the left and look at the right. You think they're happier? And they've kept it off for 2.5 years. You got anything like this? 60 pounds in 5 months. And they weren't perfect. They would tell you the story. This is so inspirational. And when we see people like my friend Janet, 100 pounds, and she's kept it off for 12 years. 12 years. Look at that change. You think she's happy? It's so inspiring. All of you have a chance to do this. Wow, we've got 2 likes. Can we get some taps on that screen? 2 likes? Who else on all social media is giving you any medical proof at all? Who is it? I mean, who would it be? Look at her before and after. She kept it off for 12 years. I mean, I know this is like science fiction. If any of you, again, think we're not real, then you're on the wrong podcast. I'm serious. Go follow some other influencer. We have on the website, there's 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies published in the biggest medical journals in the world about this. Does anybody else have one study? Show me anybody. I'm open. Show me anybody in social media with one peer-reviewed human trial published medical study. Who would it be? Who would it be? Right? I mean, I know I get really fired up about this because it's just so. Now, let's assume for a moment this is the minimum we see. 5 pounds a week. Please, anybody comment. 5 pounds a week. Oh my God, it's unhealthy to lose that much weight on a diet. If it were a diet, number one, on a diet, you couldn't even lose 5 pounds a week. You know that. Do you know what the average weight loss on diets is in 12 months, everybody? About 4 ounces a week. Yeah, about a pound a month. 16 ounces in a pound, right? 4 times 4 is 16. Some worse, some 11 pounds in a year. In a year, everybody. What are you doing? You're doing what everybody else is. Let's count those calories. Calories in, calories out, exercise. I mean, people come on and tell me, well, I'm just going to eat healthy and I exercise. No, you're not. No, you're not. It doesn't work. If you're lucky enough still to be in a warm like Florida or North Carolina or California or England or wherever you are around the world, go to the beach today. Look at the people. Look at what's happening. I know that I'm crazy. I get it, okay? But somebody has to be your advocate. Who's advocating for you and who has any medical proof other than hyperbole and a bunch of hot air that they're sharing with you? Hot air, hot air. They don't have any proof. I mean, I'll show you. These are from the top experts in the world. Listen what they say about counting calories. The deadly delusion of calorie counting. Abandon calories in, calories out now. These are not my words. These are the researchers, right? The top medical weight loss researchers in the world. Here's what they said. Calories in, calories out is a dangerous fraud. The body completely ignores calories, which are merely a lab-invented unit of energy with no corresponding biological sensor or mechanism. Instead, your body craves essential air, water, and nutrition to function, where hunger acts as a signal for nutritional deficiencies, not calorie deficiencies, rendering calorie tracking not just ineffective, but a harmful distraction that perpetuates obesity cycles and dieting failures. The end result is that people lose 25 to 40% of their lean muscle mass on any diet. These are the top researchers in the world warning you, telling you, trying to say you're wasting your time counting calories. Can anybody tell me a diet that's not calories in, calories out, or some form of counting calories? We can't find any. But look around it. Go to the mall. Go to Walmart or Kmart or wherever you are in the world. Go to a mall today. Look at the people. Look at the people. Look at a picture of people on the beach in 1970 and look at people on the beach in 2025. What has happened to all of us? We've lost our minds. We're doing something that is the definition of insanity. We keep doing the same thing over and over again and think it's going to, yeah, you lose weight initially on any diet. But I just explained to you the research, it says clear. Let's say you lose 20 pounds. 5 to 8 pounds of that is lean muscle mass. When you lose lean muscle mass, your brain freaks out because you don't have enough fuel to run all your organs. So what does it do? It slows down your metabolism. That's what happens. That's why you gain all the weight back. But the other thing it's doing to you, you don't even realize when you lose lean muscle, you slow down your own immune system. So you're making yourself unhealthy by being on a diet, even if it's successful, and you lose weight. Does everybody get this? Does everybody get this? Well, user 817, 817. The cost? You're buying a month's worth of food. You're buying no food like you did before. Only 30% of what you're doing is from the grocery store. That, the grocery store won't give you a refund. But the other 70% you're buying from these other researchers. You're buying foods from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. You're going to spend about total what you spent this month on regular food. But are you going to produce a result like this? On regular food, on a diet? Of course not. So that 70%, there's 100% money back guarantee. Absolutely, no questions asked. Because nothing's 100%. But who else on social media is offering you any kind, and free coaching? No, we don't charge for coaching. We got coached. We're scientists. Our job is to bring this information to all of you, to make you aware. You're not buying anything from our coaches. Period. End of the story. There's no lotions, potions, pills, etc. Well, but again, I would say with all due respect, who else? Oh, Angie, I'm ordering today. So excited to start. Angie, who's your coach? I'm just really curious, if you don't mind. So user 817, does that make sense? You're buying forget what you bought last month at the grocery store. Start at zero. But take whatever you spent last month, take 30% of that. That's all you're going to spend this month at the grocery store. And the other 70% pretty much pays for these exotic foods. But again, they're coming from, why are they coming from around the world? Because our food, I don't care where you are in the world, is all but nutritionally bankrupt. But these regions in Russia and Mongolia and Tibet and South America have tremendous amounts of nutrition in their food. There's people in those blue zones in these areas that are living to be 100 years old. I want to put that stuff in my body. What about all of you? Am I making sense? Oh, Angie, great, great, great. I'm prejudiced. Angie, you do know that's my son, right? Did you know that? Oh my gosh, that's so great. Rita Burris, hi. Listen, everybody, I know I get really excited for all of you. For all of you. User 817. Look, we give you a free website. Go see all the medical proof. We won't contact you. We're not here to sell you anything. We don't have any products. You're buying food and a new way of eating. I realize that I tell you that and it makes you more skeptical, all of you. But honest to gosh, look at this. Look at Julie, everybody. 35 pounds in 37 days. Huh? Look at her body composition, how much it changed. And then my friend's daughter, April, 60 pounds in 3 months, everybody. You think any diet? Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her body. No exercise allowed. None of them exercise. They wore Fitbits to prove they didn't exercise. Why? Because the research didn't want exercise to be an outlier. Otherwise you say, well, they lost weight because it was diet and exercise. No, it wasn't. No exercise at all. None. Zero. And then then a 65-year-old man, you're not supposed to be able to lose weight when you get older, right? Look at this. Curtis, 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days. Least important part of his story. Look at his blood work, lab work. His A1C from 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides, 242 to 124 in 30 days, everybody. 30 days, not 30 weeks. Yeah, you get really excited. People tell me to calm down. I'm not calming down. This is a disaster. I've got it right here. I'm going to read to you. Johns Hopkins Medical School. Not my opinion. Johns Hopkins Medical study predicts obesity apocalypse in 4 years. 86% of you are going to be overweight or obese in 4 years. Harvard Medical School, stop counting calories. Medicare's search for obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. Why you shouldn't count calories. The science behind diets don't work, and I've got many, many more studies like that. You got to understand right here. You think, oh, I'm going to do it. Somebody said, well, I just eat whole foods. You do? Well, you might want to pay attention to the science. Over the last 25 years, scientific studies indicate that particularly fruits, vegetables, grains, have decreased in nutritional value by up to 50%. In other words, half the nutrition they had 25 years ago. You're just kidding yourselves. It's not about how much you eat. It has nothing to do with calorie counting. It only has to how much nutrition you have. That's why the research has limited your grocery list to your grocery store, all organic, but only 30% of what you're going to consume in a month on this protocol. The other 70% comes from these other regions of the world like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, that have huge amounts of nutrition like our food used to have in the United States over 100 years ago. But then there's a completely new way of eating that they developed based on this nutritional model. I didn't even tell you all about maintenance. Maintenance, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago, 817, for example, just to let you know. Did you hear what I said? 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. So what do they do? What did they do? 40 pounds in 30 days, age 65. Wow, yeah, Rhaegar. Okay, let me tell you what they did and what I did and what he did. And let me show you one other. Look at Andy. He's a younger, 45 pounds and 60 inches in a month. And look at his blood, again, his A1C, 7.9 to 6.2, bad cholesterol, 120 to 59 in 30 days. And look at his A1C. Look at his bad cholesterol, 120 to 59. Any of you think any diet can challenge this? Because none of these diets have any medical. All they do is give you the number on the scale. They're not doing this math. This was the most comprehensive medical examination ever done on diet, nutrition, and health. Ever. Ever. Some of these studies started 13 years ago. They cost tremendous amounts of money and take a long time. And the key is to be published in these major medical journals who have one job. You know what it is? To discredit what you, not me, as a researcher, you're trying to prove. That's why no drug ever gets approved without a peer-reviewed human trial study. Does everybody understand that? We got 10 of them. I mean, published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. So let's talk about how they did it. So first, who invented it? It was invented by they're rated, not me, it's rated worldwide, the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world who had done 100 studies on human beings, not mice or rats, over 40 years on every kind of diet you could ever name. There's probably more now, but trust me. They found that although people lost weight initially on any diet, 2/3 ended up gaining more than 2/3 of everybody gained more weight than they lost, and 25 to 40% of the pounds people were actually losing was lean muscle mass. That's what you're losing on these diets. That's why you all have all that loose skin and the bloating and everything else, because the real reason is we're living in an unbelievably toxic world. And as you breathe and drink and eat these chemicals, your body takes the chemical and stuffs it inside your fat cells. You don't have to believe me, but how about the U.S. Patent Office? This is a new medical syndrome. You've all heard of Syndrome X or, metabolic syndrome. Well, TDOS, what does it stand for? The T is for the toxins you're all storing in your body that no diet has ever touched removing. The D is for the nutritional deficiency of our food. O for being overweight, S is for stress. It's a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office. Peter Greenlaw, who said, oh, that's me, I did discover it. So I'm not just some guy. And the thing is, in these medical studies, they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis proving the number one reason to do this is detox. The weight loss is a throw-in. Do you know most women, and this is a whole dress size in 7 days, and no one was allowed to exercise? They wore Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. Why? Because otherwise you would have said, well, they lost weight because it was diet and exercise. No, it wasn't. Angie, is that amazing? Is that just Sealess Life and Rhaegar? Do you all understand now what they did? I guess I didn't explain it to you. I'm sorry. So the researchers, what they said was the reason diets fail, calorie counting is the most ridiculous thing. Your body doesn't count a calorie, doesn't know what a calorie is. Stop counting calories. So they said to people, we're not going to give you calorie amounts. The researchers are going to pick out foods that had these two criteria. One, yes, they were going to give you less food by volume, but they selected foods with high levels of nutrition. Because see, your body doesn't run on calories. Your body doesn't know what a calorie is. Your body can't count calories. You're counting them. Don't ask me why. I know why, because that's what everybody tells you. And every diet is based on calorie counting. Here's why diets fail, according to the researchers. All you're doing on a diet is reducing the quantity of your food you're consuming and ignoring the fact when that happens, you're reducing the amount of nutrition. So the research said, wait a minute. We're going to find foods, we're going to give you less food, but those foods have way more nutrition. And they picked them out, and they put a grocery list together for her, for you, for me, where only 30%, whatever you bought last month, you're only going to spend 30% this month. And you're going to get a list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables, but you're going to get serving sizes, not calorie amounts. Does everybody get that? So you're going to get a list, you take it to the grocery store. What about the other 70% you're going to spend or the food you're going to eat in a month? Because you're buying a month's worth of food. We don't sell anything. There's no products here. It's food. The other 70% comes from these other researchers who've gone around the world for 20 years to places like Russia and Mongolia and Tibet and South America and New Zealand to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but smaller quantities of food. So now they had the food, 30% from your grocery store, 70% from these exotic foods around the world, which the research has called the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional standpoint. Okay, got it? Then they invented a new way of eating. Let me go through it briefly. 5 days a week, you'd be eating 4 times a day. You'd start with the world's most perfect meal from these exotic foods around the world, nothing from your grocery store, lunch from your grocery store, dinner from your grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner from the world's most perfect meal. That's called protein pacing. They ended up getting a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office, for this way of eating. How cool is that, right? Then 2 days a week, no food from the grocery store. What? No, slow down. You're only consuming these other foods from around the world, and this time you're going to eat 8 times a day. You're going to eat every hour and a half for 2 hours. And what were the results? Like I said before, this is the most comprehensive medical evaluation ever done. They looked at blood, stool, urine, and fat. They looked at body composition. They looked at muscle mass. They looked at blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides, and enzymes. And what did they conclude? They concluded in a month that people lost as much weight as people were losing in a year. Nobody lost any water, and people gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass, and that's really the end of the story. So what I would encourage you, because I need to close out this live right now, visit the New Health Conversation. You can see it right there, and you can see all the medical proof and get a free coach, and then decide what you want to do. Yeah, I'm coughing. I got to get some water or something. As a matter of fact, if you want to stay on, we're now at 1:17 East Coast time. Let me go get some water. I won't be able to finish. I promise I'll be back in a minute or two. So just hang tight and look at some of the pictures. Well, sorry everybody, but at least you know it's live. I'm still here. Sorry, I had to go get some water. I was coughing and whatever, and I want to be able to finish this. We move forward. So for all of you, look, the biggest threat to your life is obesity. It's not up for debate. Now, I'm not saying you're all obese. That isn't the point. But we do know that in 4 years, according to Johns Hopkins Medical School, 86% of you are going to be overweight or obese. And obviously, you got to be overweight first, and then you move to obesity. To give you an idea how bad it is worldwide, there's 1 billion people now, 1 billion out of 8 billion that are clinically obese. And the researchers who did the studies, the Lancet, one of the biggest medical journals in the world out of England, they proved that, they said that their contention, obesity is the leading form of malnutrition in the world. Let me repeat that obesity is the leading form of malnutrition in the entire world. So you can just imagine how crazy that is, right? So who would like to ask me a question about, let's go and take a look at some of the results. So 21 pounds and 38 inches in 30 days with no exercise, They wore Fitbits to prove they didn't exercise because the research didn't want exercise to be part of it. Otherwise, you say, well, they lost weight because it was diet and exercise. No, it wasn't. It had nothing to do with that. And they've kept it off. This picture's 8 or 9 years old. She's kept it off for 8 or 9 years. The protocol, named by the research, is called R2M, race to maintenance. Yeah. The whole key to this is not that there's no question you're going to lose the weight. I mean, if it doesn't, actually you get 100% a money back guarantee on 70% of the food you're going to buy. There's no products to buy here, everybody. You're buying food. 30% from your grocery store, organic, you get a list. But the other 70% comes from other researchers who went around the world to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition. And you buy directly from them. There's no middleman. We don't sell you anything. Our coaches show you, give you the grocery list to take to your grocery store and show you how to order those directly from those researchers. In addition, I didn't even cover this. The researchers had put together, it's called the Blueprint for Success. This is part of the coaching thing. The yellows are all daily videos from the researchers who created this, who have no products to sell. They have no dog in this hunt other than the fact they've spent 40 years of their lives trying to crack the code on obesity. They've done it, and they're getting credit for it. Now they're recognized as the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. Who are you following? Who are the people that you're following? And do any of the people that you're following, do they have one shred of medical evidence? Does anybody have any medical evidence whatsoever for the people that you're following? Who would it be? And then we look at Julie here, 35 pounds in 37 days. Look at the change in her body composition, everybody. Is that just nuts? Is that just crazy? Or is it just me? Maybe it's just me, I don't know. But I think that's unbelievable, right? And then 60 pounds, and that's 30 kilos for any of you that are in Europe or whatever. 30 kilos in 3 months. There's nothing like this on the planet. And again, I would challenge any of you, put in the chat anybody you're following who has one shred of medical evidence, that any of you are following that has any medical evidence at all. Who would it be? Who's curious about how they're doing this? Even if you went to the least amount we're used to, which is 21 pounds and 38 inches in a month, that's 5 pounds a week. That's the least. She only had 30 pounds to lose. She lost 21 pounds in 30 days. Again, I would challenge anybody, show me a keep seeing you sitting on this media, Regar. Keep seeing you. What do you want to know, Regar, about unicity? Because it's not even in the same planet. I think I have a write-up on unicity here. Let me just see something. Let's see. Unicity summary, the approach. That's the approach. Hold on here. I'm gonna find the unicity research here in just a moment. I promise. More and more, because I get that question a lot about unicity. Let's see. That's the critical role. That's not the right one. That's got my. It's here somewhere. I know. I'll find it in just a moment. Again, you want to be on top of things. Oh, here it is. Unicity. Okay, so Regar, let me read this to you. This is from the researchers, not me, the other researchers. Unicity claimed health benefits. Unicity promotes products like Balance, fiber supplement, and Yuba Mate drink for metabolic health, including blood sugar, cholesterol, energy, general well-being. However, these are largely unsubstantiated hype, no independent evidence for detoxifying the body, reducing inflammation, or preserving lean muscle mass. Claims often implied but never proven in any studies. Weight loss involvement. The company vaguely ties product to weight management via satiety and metabolic support, but avoids specific claims on amounts or timelines. This lack of detail on how much, over what period, or with what consistency, rendering it meaningless without medical metrics like sustained blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides. Peer-reviewed human trials, virtually none exist on unicity in reputable medical journals. What they cite are mostly internal company-funding trials, short-term, small-scale, and biased, plus borrowed science from generic ingredient research. No rigorous independent human trials validate the product. Uniqueness, hype. Nothing stands out. Ingredients are common, soluble vitamins, plant extracts, repackaged in proprietary mixes via MLMs. The website, unicity.com and Unicity Science, is slick marketing, testimonials, vague icons, and unlikely study summaries, but lack transparency, full methodologies, or external verification. That's not my opinion. This is from the research. They're providing, see, that's the problem. An internal study doesn't mean a damn thing in the medical world. I know, because for 22 years, We had thousands, tens of thousands of people doing this, but in the medical world, without peer-reviewed published medical studies, it meant zero. So don't think that nothing again. If you want to do unicity, go ahead. Seems like a nice company, but don't try to compare it to this. What I'm saying is, unless you have peer-reviewed human trial medical studies, why are you following it? Because see, if it was that good, they'd have peer-reviewed human trial medical studies, which cost a fortune. But here's the reason companies won't do it. Because the claims they're making are what are called unsubstantiated. This is just scientific evaluation. You either have a peer-reviewed human trial study published in these huge medical journals, or you don't. That's it. Does that make sense, Rigar? Do you get it? I don't have anything to do with you. I wouldn't. You think I'm recommending unicity? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Did you just listen to what I said? You go to that website, the New Health Conversation. It's free medical proof. It shows you all the medical studies. Scroll down and then you get a free coach. It's not unicity. This has nothing to do with unicity. So how did you get that out of what I just shared? It's not unicity. I'm just telling you the claims they're making are what's called unsubstantiated. It's not something I'm making up. I just read. So if you want to get mad at me, if you're doing unicity, I'm just showing you the medical proof of which there's none, zero in the real medical world. Because an internal study doesn't mean anything. Sorry. Well, okay, but again, Rigar. Well, Rigar, it's not my program. Rigar, there's nothing to buy from us. Do you understand? If you go to the website, here's the website, everybody, the New Health Conversation. And it's the only program in the world with 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies where all these other companies have zero, none. Which one? There's the website, Rigar. There's nothing to buy on there. The only thing on there is the medical proof. And number one is a podcast with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the entire world. They're the top people. They said all diets are done for. This is the new way to go. Rigar, you owe it to yourself. At least go and look at the medical proof. We won't, Rigar, if you go there or any of you, we're not going to contact you if you go to that website. We don't do that. Why should we need to? There's the medical proof. You either believe it or you don't. And if you don't, then don't waste your time. Just like anybody thinking that anything I'm showing you here today is photoshopped or changed. If you do, you're on the wrong podcast. I don't care if there's 3,000 or 3,000 people on here. I mean, the point is that we're now in a position that our world is collapsing. What do you think we're going to do in 4 years when 86% of Americans are overweight, obese, and 50% of those are pre-diabetic? Do you think at some point it's like the system is going to implode? It's already imploding. I mean, it's great. So, Angel, what is this program? Well, first of all, Angel, this is real. She lost 21 pounds in 30 days, 30 inches. She was not allowed to exercise, or look at Julie here, 35 pounds in 37 days. And then April, 60 pounds in 3 months. And then this is a 65-year-old man, 40 pounds, 52 inches in 30 days. So let's talk about how they did it. First of all, Angel, it was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. They're rated #1. They had done 100 studies over 40 years, and here's what they concluded. No diet ever worked long term. And 2/3 of everybody on every diet gained more weight than they lost. That's the reality we see today. So what they said, here's why diets fail, you and everybody else. Every diet except for this, which is not a diet, were based on calorie counting. Well, the problem with that is the human body has no idea what a calorie is. It doesn't count calories. Why we would count calories, someone told us to, is ridiculous. So the research said we got to do something different. When they put this protocol together, by the way, there's no products to buy. Angel, this is based on food and a new way of eating. The researchers put together the foods, though. They put together a grocery list. You literally would take to your grocery store of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of giving you calorie amounts, they give you serving sizes because the key to this was foods with high levels of nutrition. And they picked them out for all of us. You have a list. You just take it to the grocery store. Here's my protein, how many ounces? Here's my vegetables at 1/3 or half a cup. It's all laid out. There's nothing to guess, okay? But only 30%. So whatever you spent last month on groceries, only 30% you're going to spend this month, okay, Angel? The other 70% does not come from, you can't even buy it at a grocery store. It came from other researchers who'd gone around the world for the last 20 years and gone to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small amounts of food by quantity. So now they had the foods that she was going to consume. Then they put together a new way of eating, Angel, that's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office, called protein pacing. You can look it up. Effectively, what they did until she lost her weight, 5 days a week, they let her have 4 meals a day. No food from the grocery store to start the day, only these exotic foods around the world, which the researchers have called the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional standpoint. So much so that the researchers said, unless you're on a prescription for iron or calcium deficiency, you need no other supplements. No other supplements. That's what she had for breakfast. Lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a fourth meal after dinner from the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional standpoint. Got it? 2 days a week, no food from the grocery store, only these world's most perfect meals. But this time, she ate 8 times a day, Angel. She was eating every hour and a half or 2 hours. The diabetics on this, no one had insulin spikes. We had people weighing 400 and 500 pounds. They weren't hungry. See, Angel, one thing, if I can teach any of you anything, hunger has nothing to do with calories. Zero to do. Your body has no idea what a calorie is, could care less about calories. It doesn't count calories. The only thing your body goes on, your brain, is there enough nutrition to run all the organs, your brain, your heart, your kidney, your liver. It doesn't run on calories. It runs on nutrition. So what they did, Angel, just to let you know, this is the most comprehensive medical analysis ever done on diets, nutrition, and health. They did massive research. They did blood, stool, urine, fat analysis. They did muscle, they did body composition, muscle composition. They did liver enzymes. They did blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides, and inflammation, just to name a few. Most women on this, to give you an idea, Angel, lose a whole dress size in the first week, and no exercise was allowed. You certainly can exercise if you want to. You go over that with your coach. The coaching on this is 100% free. There's no charge for the consultation. There's no charge for coaching. You're buying nothing from the coaches. 30% you're buying from your grocery and 70% from the exotic foods from around the world. Now, what did they find in the medical analysis? The number one thing they found that was important to all of us, this is a detox. Through blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, they proved this is removing chemicals from the body that you're all storing inside of your fat cells. See, people tell you burn fat on a diet or exercise. Complete lie. You're born with a certain number of fat cells. You die with a certain number of fat cells. And over your lifetime, your fat cells expand or contract. That's it. So they proved in her case, everybody's case, no one lost any water weight, and she gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass with no exercise allowed. She actually wore a Fitbit to prove she wasn't exercising. And look at, she lost 38, shrank 38 inches. And look at her stomach. Wait a minute, let me get it out of the way. On day 1, and look at her stomach on day 30. So that bloating that you all experience is because your body, to protect you as we eat, drink, and breathe chemicals, which we're doing, the body takes the chemical and stuffs it inside your visceral fat. That's why you have so much fat on your body. At least that's what you all complain to us about. Well, imagine women lose a whole dress size in the first week with no exercise. Men lose 2 to 4 inches off their waist in a week. I lost 8 inches off my waist in 14 days. I went from a 42 to a 34-inch waist, and I've kept it off for 23 years. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. This picture you're looking at here, 8 or 9 years ago. All these people I'm showing you, they've kept the weight off for 8 or 9 or 10 or 12 years or more. Here's a lady right here, Janet, 100 pounds she lost. She's kept it off for 12 years. No diet's doing this. This is not a diet. It has nothing to do with dieting, counting calories, etc. It's a whole new way of living. Now, let me tell you about maintenance, how simple it is. Okay, so this morning my breakfast was the world's most perfect meal. These ingredients from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. I'm actually going to watch football here in a little while. I'm very excited. I'm going to have lunch at my local bar with my buddies. And then I'll have dinner tonight. And that's it. So it's not a matter of whether or not we can do it. It's a matter of, can you do it based on the fact that you have the opportunity to see the medical proof, unable to verify. Okay, let me drag it. Hold on. I know you're there. I'm trying to extend my time on TikTok. I understand. Okay, let me do it. For some reason, it's causing me problems here. Hold on, everybody. Okay, let's see if I can drag the puzzle piece now. Because I'm extending the time on TikTok because we've already gone over an hour. Let me just, whoa, come on back. Whoa, what's going on here, folks? Okay, let's try one more time. Okay, let me go here. I don't know why it's doing that. It's not letting me Ah, okay, maybe this one will work. See, that hand is coming up there, Mia. I don't know why it's doing that, because normally I can just do the pointer.
Hold on, let me try.
Yeah, go ahead. See the hand, it would, the point. Okay, perfect. All right, great. So that warning that we just got, it was because of the fact that I was over the time on TikTok, because I'm on over an hour now. But it looks like so far it's really working. Sorry, everybody, I'm having a conversation with my webmaster. But anyway, how do we sign up? Okay, Rebecca, how does hunger and hunger noise stop on this? Because Rhaegar, your hunger comes from lack of nutrition. Okay, this supplies your body with all the nutrition and you're not hungry. We got people weighing 600 pounds, they're not hungry. And also here, Rebecca, how do we sign up? You see right above her head, visit the New Health Conversation. Can you see that, Rebecca? You go there. Let me show you on Google. You go to the website, you type in the New Health Conversation, the New Health Conversation. It'll take you to a link. You're going to see it here in a moment on Google. Click on it, and then it'll take you to the website. And on the website, to be clear, Rebecca, the only thing there, is the medical proof. We want you to see the medical proof first. Then if you decide, you scroll down, you get a free coach, and they'll show you everything, including 30% of what you're going to order is from your grocery store, and the other 70%, you don't order from our coaches, you're going to order from these exotic foods around the world. They'll show you how to do that. And Rebecca, the coaching is 100% free. There is no charge for coaching, even the consultation all the way through. And then they teach you how to go on maintenance, because the main thing behind this, Rebecca, is not how much weight you can lose, but keeping it off. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. 23 years ago. That's just so crazy good, is it not? So I would encourage any of you, including you, Rebecca, to go to the website and see that. Look, Rebecca, is there anybody else on social media offering you free coaching and showing you, in this case, 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies? Oh, and also, I forgot to mention this to everybody, but the women in particular. This is Women's World magazine, June 9th of this year, June 9th, 2025, so about 3 months ago. This is the cover story on Women's World, the #1 Women's World magazine in the world. Look at mother and daughter lose 140 pounds. It's actually more than that now. Over 50 protein miracle. And hopefully you can read it. It says right there, powerful new eating pattern can take off weight faster than anything else you've tried. This you can't buy this. They did a whole news story on it inside the magazine. Let me show it to you right here. Look at this. A 2-page spread. The new protein miracle diet. You think that they would put this on the cover if it wasn't legitimate? They're not putting paleo or keto or Mediterranean on the diet because there's no medical proof behind it. It's all nonsense. It's not that it's nonsense, but there's no medical proof. Without medical proof, it doesn't mean anything. I know, because for 21 and a half years, there were no peer-reviewed human trial studies. You know how many people have done this over 23 years that we've helped? About 500,000. They've lost over 10 million pounds. Well, you would think that based on 21 and a half years of those kind of data, the medical world would have embraced it. You know what the medical world, you know what their interest was? Zero. Until these peer-reviewed human trials published. You've got to understand, it's not just you run your scientific experiment. No, then you have to get vetted by these top medical journals that have only one job, and that's to discredit what you're proving. That's why no drug ever gets approved without a peer-reviewed human trial study. Does everybody understand that? So who else would like to ask me a question? So Rebecca, does that make sense? Give me a yes. So Rhaegar, I answered your question for you. Oh, good, Rebecca. I'm glad you're excited. And Rebecca, let me be clear. When you go to that website, we will not contact you. So I have 2 sons and I have 4 grandkids. On their lives, we don't contact you. And the reason, Rebecca, is pretty simple. We believe that the science will convince you at a minimum to at least set up a free evaluation consult, whatever you want to call it, with one of our coaches. You know, we have medical doctors and RNs and physicians assistants and dietitians and nutritionists and weight loss. And I mean, these people are all, they coach you for free because they got coached. And maybe their cousin, you know, they went on and had a great result and their sister or cousin's asking them. We only have so many coaches, right? So it's really important that you understand this is not a gimmick. I tell people all the time, if anybody, and that would be, with all due respect for Rebecca, including you, if you think I'm making anything up, you're on the wrong podcast. Don't waste your time. Don't go to the website. But the thing I can tell you is we're the only people on all of social media with published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world for all of you to do what? To finally bring real medical proof. They did the most extensive research ever done on diets, nutrition, longevity, and health. You realize what they did on these people? They analyzed, they had to come in for blood work. They did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis. They were coming every week or two as they went through this. They have the medical proof. It's not just that she lost 21 pounds in a month. She lost no water weight and gained, Rebecca, 6 to 9% lean muscle. Look at her stomach, Rebecca, on day 1. Look at her stomach on day 30. That's with no exercise. And of course, you can exercise if you want to, Rebecca. That's everything you'd go over with your coaches. Listen, Rebecca and everybody else, we have kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 91 years old. We have people with no thyroids, a man with a heart transplant, kidney transplant, and no we have people, several, with no gallbladders. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or preventing any medical disease. Don't hear that. All we're sharing with you is what's in the published peer-reviewed human trial studies that are on our website for you to see first. People are charging you for an app to buy recipes. Really? Really? And then they charge you for coaching, like $50 a month. They don't have one shred of medical evidence. As a matter of fact, let me tell you how poor it is. It's based on this time-restricted eating where you don't eat for 16 hours for 8. You know what the proof is in 12 months? You know how much people are losing on that stupid diet? 4 ounces a week, long term. Yeah, I get really animated because it's nonsense. Can you, honest to gosh, are any of you going to argue the fact that Johns Hopkins Medical School said in 4 years, 86% of you are going to be overweight, obese, and 50% will be pre-diabetic? Does that sound to you like anything's working? It's like we started this whole thing with this headline. The biggest threat to your health is obesity. It's been proven that diets fail us. However, the good news is they found this new revolutionary protocol that we're talking about today. That's what we're talking about. It's not about fitting in your skinny jeans. That's a given. The weight loss is the least important part of this whole thing. So 6 foot, 237, had gallbladder removed and gained 15 to 20 pounds, stomach problems since surgery. Regar, go to the website. Go to the website. It's free to go there. We won't, look, if you go there, we're not going to, get a coach, but put that in the thing because we have people with no gallbladders. Okay, we know what we're doing. Isn't that cool, Regar? How much would that excite you? So let me give you an idea. We have a young woman in Florida, Regar. She's 5 feet tall. She started at 265 pounds. But you're 6 feet at 5 feet, right? So Regar, or any of you guess, in 6 months, this young woman, 30 years old, no gallbladder, 5 feet tall, 265 pounds. Take a guess at how much weight she lost in 6 months. Anybody want to put it in the chat? Good, Angel, you're going to the site. But you're welcome to take a guess if you want, Angel. So 5 feet tall, 265 pounds, 6 months. Would anybody like to put in there, how much weight do you think she lost? Rhaegar, 100. Anybody else? Anybody else? Come on, everybody. I'm not mean. I'm not trying to trick you. I'm just curious. 65 pounds, Angel. Going to the site too, Rebecca said. Okay, listen, Rebecca, Angel, Rhaegar. She lost 165 pounds in 6 months, and she's kept it off now for almost 2 years. She couldn't play with her kids. 5 feet, 265 pounds. Can you imagine the limitations she had? She got her life back. You think there's any diet on earth? Well, look at this lady here, Mary. 200 pounds in a year, everybody. Look at that, 200 pounds in a year. Look at, where's the loose skin? No surgery of any kind. Now, if you think this is fake, you're on the wrong podcast. I'm serious. Don't believe me then. Why would we have to lie to you? Why would we have to change anything when we're the only people on all of social media at this point? We have 10, we didn't do them. We didn't do the research, but we've got, the research is published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world, which does what? It makes it irrefutable. Irrefutable evidence. Not somebody coming and say, well, the only way to lose weight is, calories in, calories out, or, eat clean and No, it's not. That's nonsense. It's just crazy. But that's what most of you are doing and have been told. Rebecca, you can change your life. You can all change your lives if you want to. Heck, if you go to the website, we're not even going to contact you. If we're not lying to you, which we're not, if the medical proof is what I'm telling you, Would you not be curious to talk to a coach for free and get an evaluation? We got kids as young as 2 doing this. We got a lady 91 years old who 3 months ago was on a walker. Now she's taking taekwondo lessons at 91 years of age. What do you think? It's not a diet. It's a way of life. It's a health system. It's a health protocol. The weight loss is like the throw-in. I mean, even someone like Ken, 34 pounds in 29 days. Look at the change in his body. Now you can think it's Photoshop. It's not. Look at him. It's like a different person. A lot of people, well, especially when I show them this picture. This is my friend's daughter. Look at her face, her arms. A lot of people, it's a different model. No, it's not. If you really believe that, you're on the wrong podcast. Go follow some of these other influencers. They don't have one shred of medical evidence, including medical doctors and chiropractors and dietitians and nutritionists and fitness gurus and health coaches and weight loss coaches. Where's their evidence? They don't have any. Do you get it? None. Zero. The evidence is that diets are miserable, miserable failures. Let me read to you from one of the big studies. I don't just make statements, everybody. I'm giving you medical proof. You can go look this up. Journal of the American Medical Association, one of the biggest medical journals in the world. They did a 12-month study, and the study title was Comparison of Weight Loss Among Named Diet Programs in Overweight and Obese Adults. They analyzed 48 different studies, 7,286 people. Is that good enough for all of you? They named all the major diets: keto, paleo, Mediterranean, time-restricted eating, fasting, Jenny Craig Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, the Cornish diet, the Zone diet, lose weight for your blood type, Atkins, on and on and on. In 12 months, right in the study, in 12 months, the average weight loss was 16 pounds in a year. That would be about 1 pound and 4 ounces a month. Of the weight loss people lost on every diet they analyzed, 25 to 40% was lean muscle mass, and every person gained all their weight back. Wow. So Dog Daddy 7 just came on. I already lost 8 pounds in 1 week just by this. Thank you. No, thank you for trusting us. Dog Dad, if you'd be so kind, but how do you feel? I want to know how you feel, and do you have hope? And I don't know you. I know you've been on my podcast. I've seen you, but how much weight are you trying to lose, just so we can have a perspective? I mean, 8 pounds, I think everyone would agree that 8 pounds, that's going to take you a couple months, right? All of you. So if you don't mind, Dog Dad, how much total do you need to lose or want to lose, et cetera? And how are you feeling? Okay, if you don't mind putting that in the chat. Angel, no, thank you. How did excess skin disappear? Protein. Again, Rhaegar, go and look at Curtis. Here's a better example for you, Rhaegar. He lost 40 pounds. Look at his stomach on day 1, and then look at his stomach on day 30. That shrinkage, okay? I had a guy in Denver. He weighed 587. Let's call it 600 pounds. He ended up losing 387 pounds in 20 months. He hasn't regained it, and he has no loose skin, and he had no surgery of any kind. And again, you can see on the website there's a before and after of him if you want to take a look at it. I understand I'm fighting against the mainstream. I'm the canary in the coal mine. I get attacked all the time. Oh, you're a charlatan, it's BS. No, you don't understand. It has nothing to do with me. These results are published, this protocol is published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. Do you all understand the significance of a peer-reviewed human trial study instead of what's called a scientific study? First of all, peer-reviewed study, here's what has to happen. First of all, by the government, you have to be certified that you can conduct this study. Number 2, you then submit your study to another government agency that determines, because they're going to be dealing with human beings, is this study sound? Is it scientifically backed? Is it going to be potentially safe, okay? And then third, you do the study, you create the results, and then you have to submit it, in this case, let's say to the Obesity, which is one of the journals, the Obesity Journal. Then they determine if they're going to publish it. They hire other people, 8 pounds and 12 to go, and I feel amazing just by detoxing and drinking. Great, 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 great. So it's really working for you then, Dog Dad. Am I correct? It's really, really working for you? I'm really happy for you. But anyway, let's keep going here. So who else would like to ask me a question about how in the world they did this, okay? So who else would like to ask me a question? But Rhaegar, that's why they don't have any loose skin, because this is, and we have the proof. They lost no water weight and they gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. All right? So who else would like to ask me a question? Yeah, Nyan, I'm seeing the comments. That's why I comment verbally. I don't have time to type everything in the chat. I feel amazing just by, yeah, great. I'm living proof. I agree, Dog Dad. This really does work. And, like I said, we've had, in 23 years, we've helped over 500,000 people lose over 10 million pounds. But for 22 of those 23 years, the medical community, they wouldn't even take a look at it. If anything, they said, oh my God, it's unhealthy to lose that much weight that fast on a diet. Yeah, on a diet it would be, and on a diet you're never going to lose. I mean, don't even think have any of you seen a diet where you can lose 10.2 pounds a week with no exercise? So we've still got people on here, new people coming on. Hello, Sue. Rebecca, Angel, I know, Regara, you're all going to the website. Great. Who else would like to ask me a question about this? I'm really curious. Well, I hope you're curious. How are they doing this? How is she able to lose? In this case, she lost, that's 10 pounds a week, everybody. 10 pounds a week. So, and we only have 67 likes, that's it. You realize if you tap on your screen, it boosts the likes. I mean, it's not an ego thing for me, but it helps us to spread the algorithm around the world as I do more of these. Because right now it's almost 2 o'clock on the East Coast. I'm probably going to do one more today, maybe in like 15 or 20 minutes, because I do need to let my voice rest. And I do need to talk to my web people, because it looks like, thank goodness, we had real, not that you care, but we had real connection web issues yesterday, and today everything's fine. Since gallbladder surgery, every time I eat, feel like I have to go to the bathroom. Does this help stomach? Rhaegar, let me explain it to you. One of the studies published in Nature Communications. By the way, Rhaegar, if you go to the website, you can see the study. It was published in Nature Communications, the number one medical journal in the world, or one of them, okay? The title of the study was Gut Microbiome Remodeling and Metabolic Profile Improved Massively in Response to Protein Pacing and Intermittent Fasting. So one of the biggest things about this is healing the gut, your gut, absolutely positively. That's why I keep saying the main reason to do this is not to lose weight. The main reason to do this is for your health. That's why we call it a health system. It's not a diet. And it's sustainable. Rhaegar, I think I told you that. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. I know that sounds fantastic to all of you. Rebecca, okay, so Rebecca, the site is right above, look, it's the new health conversation. Do you see that, Rebecca? The new. So if you go to website, you go to Google, type in the new, do you see it, Rebecca? The new health conversation. You've got to be the new health conversation. And you click on there, and there's the website. Now do you see it, Rebecca? Just to be sure. You're totally good? I tried this, but my gums became, I'm not quite sure what that means. We look at website later. Okay. And so, Rebecca, are you sure you know where to go? I tried this, but my gums became, Amber, I'm not quite sure what you mean. Look, Amber, here's the point. Nothing is 100%. That's why there's 100% money back guarantee on 70% of what people buy. We don't sell anything. We have no products to sell. So if it didn't work for you, I'm really, really sorry. Because again, nothing is 100%. And probably, I don't know who your coach was, but my gums became KG. I'm not sure what KG means. Can you verify that for me? So Rebecca, now you're clear. You're clear on where to go. It's the new health conversation, not new health. People type in new health conversation. No, 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 no. It's got to be the. Okay. So Rebecca, I'm clear. But Amber, if you can clarify that for me, I'm not arguing with you. I'm not disagreeing, but I found it. Okay, Rebecca, good. So Amber, I tried this, but my gums became KG. I don't know what. Well, whatever, Amber. I'm really sorry if it didn't work. But again, that's part of the reason they give 70% of what you're buying, because 30% of the food's from your grocery store, so that you're not going to get a refund on that. But the other 70% of you would spend is 100% money back guarantee. Oh, at least we're at 134 likes now. Can we get some more taps on that screen? Can anybody else tap on there? So who else would like to ask me a question before I finish? Like the live. Good, Mel. I'm glad you liked the live. Who else would like to ask me a question? Do you want to know how she did this? I'll stay. Okay, we're at an hour and 19 minutes. Not that that matters, but I do need to rest my voice a little bit. Would anybody like to ask me a question? Because I'll probably take a break and then I'll come back on maybe in 10 or 15 minutes. So who else? Gums and teeth were horrible. Flame. Wow. Boy, that's really unusual. I'm not disagreeing, but if that was the case, and unfortunately, you probably won't like hearing this, but that's an indication of detoxification. Sometimes you can have, a wide variety of symptoms, but because we know that in the medical studies, Amber, that inflammation actually came down 25% a month. But maybe you were reacting to something in there because there's over 400 different nutrients that are available. So anyway, I'm sorry to hear that. It did work on weight loss though. Oh, okay. How much did you lose over what period of time, and have you been able to keep it off? That's what I'm curious about. But again, we've also, and just to be honest with everybody, this is a real detox. We've seen people break out in rashes and hives temporarily, not forever. People have had, headaches and various things, because it's a real detox. But what your body's telling you is you're toxic, and it's trying to get the toxins out of your body, not that it's pleasant. Good. Good. Yeah, you stopped because of the gums and teeth, right? I'm assuming. But still, 10 pounds in a month is way ahead of the norms, because the averages are that people are losing on diets around 16 pounds in a year, in a whole year, if you can believe that. So, who else would like to ask me a question before I close this out? Anybody else want to ask me a question before I close this particular? Okay, that makes sense. Yes, I just got worried, so I stopped. Oh, Amber. Oh my gosh. No. Amber, did you have a coach? Please tell me. I want to know, did you have a coach? Because again, it was definitely a detox symptom. I mean, it's your body telling you there's something wrong. I can promise you that. But who was your coach? What question ignored? I don't see. You said it did work for weight loss 10 months. That makes sense. Yes, I just got worried, so I stopped. Yes, question ignored. What question did I not answer? I said that one of the side effects could be that's something that you may experience through the inflammation in your gums and teeth, because it's a real detox. So I'm not sure what I didn't answer. I'm serious. I don't see any other question there, so I'm not sure what else you wanted me to answer. Yes, question ignored. You mean who your coach was? Or is there something else I'm missing? Not you, my coach at the time. It was a TikTok person. It didn't come from me. Did we reach out to you? Did you not have a coach? They're saying they ignored your question. Oh, wow, well, nothing is perfect. I'm really sorry, Amber. The only thing I'd tell you is that unfortunately, did you get the blueprint for success, Amber? Because right on there it had, frequently asked questions. One of them is, the whole thing about the toxicity, et cetera. Yeah, I see that. Huh. And they never answered your question. Wow, I can only apologize for all of us, because we're really in this to help as many people as we can. But that is definitely what you experienced, was 100% a detox symptom. And people, everybody's body's different, but we're all toxic. I think you know that. And if you were on any of my other podcasts, you know that I discovered this medical syndrome that I have and you have and everybody has. T for toxins, D for deficiency of nutrition, O for being overweight, S is for stress. And we have the medical proof this is removing toxins from the body. And as a result, unfortunately, some people do have adverse reactions like what you're experiencing. Oh. that's completely understandable. So Amber, I would invite you, go to the website, okay? If it was 2 years ago, I wasn't on TikTok 2 years ago, so it wasn't me. Okay, let's just be clear. I've only been on TikTok for maybe a year and a half. Look, the new health conversation, that's the link. Click on it, it takes you to the website. Look at the medical proof, including #1 is a podcast with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the entire world. And then if you like what you see, scroll down and you get a coach. Our coaches are trained to answer all those questions. And that would have been the kind of thing, if they couldn't answer it, they would have come to me, and then I would have gone to my medical advisory staff, and we would have given you an answer. I'm really sorry. I don't want you to buy my books, Rebecca. I'm serious. You can Google it. We on purpose made sure we didn't put books on our website. We don't want anybody to think I'm trying to sell you books. That website has to be pure science with no hint that we have anything to sell you. You can Google me and find out how to buy my books. Oh. Yeah. Rebecca, you certainly can buy my books if you want, but I don't want you, when you go to the website, you won't see any books there. But you can Google me and figure out if you want to buy my books. But I don't want anybody thinking we have anything for sale. It's not a promotion for my books, even though I've written 4 bestsellers with some of the top medical doctors in the world. We're pure. We want to make sure that that website is never commercialized. It is just medical process. Oh my gosh, yes, that helps gastric paresis. Absolutely, Rebecca. Rebecca, one of the studies, and it's on the website, Rebecca, you'll see it's Nature Communications, gut microbiome remodeling and metabolic profile improves in response to protein pacing and intermittent nutritional fasting. We have the medical proof to prove it. Absolute medical proof to prove it, okay? Oh, I think you meant, oh, wow, right? Are you saying, okay, what, Rebecca? Or are you saying, okay, wow? Maybe it's a typo, just so I can respond to it correctly. But Rebecca, imagine, we've got the medical proof, major gut healing. It's great, wow, okay. Rebecca, are you a little bit curious or a little bit excited or maybe a little bit nervous or even a little bit skeptical? It's fine, I get it. I do this, like I said, I've done over 1,000 podcasts in the last, a little bit over a year, I guess it's been maybe 15, 16 months. I'm not quite sure. So who else would like to ask me a question before we close this out? And Amber, I really would encourage you to go to the website again. Not worried. Well, you shouldn't be worried. But you could be a little bit excited or curious or excited. All right. I like hearing excited. That makes me feel great. And you're clear now, Rebecca, on the website. You told me that before. I just want to make darn sure the new health conversation, that's where you can go and get a free coach, right? Okay, would anybody else like to ask me a question? All right, everybody, I'm going to end this. And so it's now 2:03 on the East Coast. Give me about 20 minutes. I'll try and do it in 15 minutes because I'm going to leave. I'm going to watch a football game at 3 Eastern time. I'm going to be out of here. It's, here, you can read it off. Can you read that, Rebecca? My name? That's really me. Give me a yes that you can read it. Can you read it, Rebecca? Oh, good. Okay, great. So you know my name now. Just Google it, and then, my books are Your Third Brain and TDOS Solutions, and my first book published in 2010 called Why Diets Are Failing Us. So just to let y'all know, I'm not just some guy out here. I'm a real nutritional researcher for more than 23 years, 4 best-selling books, 20. I'm not trying to impress anybody, but I want you to understand I'm not just some guy. This is not my research. I didn't invent this. I didn't create it, but we're bringing it to all of you, right? No, it's not doctor. Just Peter Greenlaw is fine. Not doctor. I'm a nutritional researcher. That's a more appropriate title. Okay? But thank you very much for being here and trusting us and me and whatever. And I wish you nothing but the best, Angel or any of you. We really wish you the best. The website is for all of you to go for free. If you like what you see, scroll down. It says free coaching. It's really free coaching. Okay, everybody? I'm going to say goodbye now because I got to get together with my web guy, and then I'm going to leave in I don't have that much time. I promise I'll come on and do another podcast. If you're coming on late, give me till about 2:15, 2:20 Eastern time. I'll try and do one shorter podcast today, okay? Thanks, everybody.